Hello, in today's video we'll be replacing the battery on this 2016 Toyota Corolla. It's pretty easy to do. All you need is a 10mm socket and a ratchet. This is our positive terminal, usually indicated by a red cover or red wire, while our negative is usually a black wire with a negative sign just above or below the connection. And the reason I'm replacing this battery, for a few days this car was having a slow weak crank in the mornings, till this morning it finally didn't want to start, without a jump start. And so I tested the battery and came back with a bad battery result, and the cranking amps dropped to about 75% of its original cranking amps, which this battery having low cranking amps as is would have to be replaced. So to begin removing this battery, we'll want to start by disconnecting the negative terminal on the battery, which is our terminal on the right side. And as I stated earlier, all we need is a 10mm socket and a ratchet. And whenever dealing with bad batteries, it's always best to wear safety glasses and a pair of gloves, because some batteries when they go bad can leak sulfuric acid. And all we gotta do is loosen the terminal enough to wiggle the terminal off. And once the negative is disconnected, we can continue to our positive terminal. And the reason you want to disconnect the negative first, because on the negative, if you happen to hit something metal with the ratchet while loosening the terminal, nothing happens. But if you do that with the positive, you'll get a nasty spark, and that's the last thing we want near a bad battery. But you're safe from that happening once the negative terminal is disconnected. And now all we gotta do is remove the hold down bracket, which is held on by a bolt and a nut, which we use the same 10mm for. And now that we got both the bolt and the nut removed, we could just slide off the bracket. And now we could just lift the battery up and out. And this is our battery. Here we find our label with the battery part number, the battery's group size, which when looking for a battery, you want to buy a battery with the same group size, so it'll fit in the battery tray. And here we got our cranking amps, which is really low for a stock battery, but I guess it's not meant to last. Cranking amps being how much amps a battery can put out in cold weather. And here we got our reserve capacity, which, to put it basic, if your alternator quits charging and you're running solely on battery, you got 90 minutes till the battery drops below 10.5 volts and your car will eventually die. This is the battery I'll be using as a replacement. When buying a battery, the first thing you want to make sure that it's the same battery size, or group size. And then you'll want to make sure that the location of the positive and negative posts match your old battery. Another thing you'll notice is that this battery has more cranking amps and a higher reserve capacity. One question I get asked a lot is, will it damage anything with more cranking amps? And the quick answer is that no, it won't. The starter draws the power it needs from the battery, so a higher cranking amps means more available for colder weather, and the same goes with the reserve capacity. Well, let's go ahead and reinstall our new battery. The good thing about this battery is it's got a handle, making for an easy drop-in. Now let's go ahead and install the battery hold down. You could choose to remove the handle or leave it on, but I just leave it on and slide the hold down underneath. You may need to maneuver the battery around so the holes line up. We can now install the bolt and the nut on the hold down. You don't have to tighten these that much, they just have to be snug. And finally we can remove these battery post covers and install the terminals. We want to connect the red terminal first, and then finally the ground or the negative terminal. When putting them on, just push down and rotate a little so that it fully seats. Just a quick check to make sure that it's on there good and onto the negative. Now let's just make sure that it starts good. And it does. So that's about it for this video. I hope you found this helpful and informative. If you did, please click that like button to support my video and channel. And don't forget to subscribe and click that bell if you haven't done so.